playing the side and now look for the plant, but in comes Cned. Gonna make it at least a little bit costly. There's absolutely no way that this player steps up above. He's challenged Cned, and he's received exactly what you'd expect.
The Operator. It's a gun that's loved and hated by nearly everybody. And most likely, if you love the Op, you're someone who's like me, who abuses the hell out of Jet and just gets a pick and dashes away to never be seen again. Or you're just a simple person that loves using a Vandal or Phantom and just has fun with the game. But no matter what, we can both agree that the Operator can single-handedly turn the tide of a Valorant game. So that's why I'm talking about the Operator today. Since the beginning of video game time, there's been weapons that are high-powered rifles that one-tap to the body. And a lot of people argue that weapons like this shouldn't be in video games. Like, look at Call of Duty. The maps are not even that big, and they have sniper rifles for people jumping around corners and quickscoping. But this doesn't mean weapons like this shouldn't exist. There's actually a good reason why weapons like this was put into video games, actually. Think of it this way. Every weapon classification has a reason for being in a game. Assault rifles are for people pushing up and having high capacity mags, allowing them to take on fights. Snipers are made for players that are playing far back, taking fights from longer ranges, playing as a supportive role. Pistols were made for when your main weapon's out of ammo. And shotguns are for people close up and around corners. But the thing that makes people mad about the Operator and other snipers in games is that people are using it like it's a shotgun or an assault rifle, getting way too close and aggressive just to get a kill very easily for one bullet. But, as we all know, Valorant is no stranger to going the normal route in video games. If you expect something to go one way, Valorant devs are going to go another. Hell, look, we got a Valorant character that puts you in a goddamn cocoon. But this also means that Valorant shouldn't be adding overpowered weapons. And the thing is, the Operator actually isn't overpowered. Now, before you go into my comments and start yelling at me saying I'm so bad at Valorant and anything I say is absolutely stupid, just hear me out real quick. Think about this. How many times do you really see somebody opping in your Valorant matches? At most, one person that's mainly opping, if not, really nobody. Now, sometimes there is two people opping, but in higher ranks that's really uncommon, and normally their teammates are telling one of the people to stop opping, and normally the person who isn't a duelist stops opping. And there's a good reason why the whole entire enemy team isn't just lined up with ops defending sites. Now, look at the CSGO Pro match that had 4 people holding mid with an op. Yeah, it's pretty much just peaking death. And thankfully, we're not playing CSGO because I'm like Silver 4 in that game in Radiant Valorant. Yeah, that says a lot. Even though everybody knows Valorant and CSGO are kind of like the same thing, but completely different, there's very small aspects that make the game so competitively different, and that allow guns like this to exist without destroying Valorant. In CSGO, every player has the ability to buy 2 flashbangs and a smoke grenade. Flashbangs allowing to visually stun the enemy who has an Operator, and smoke grenades disabling their vision so you can't get shot. Now, you can still get shot through smoke, but it's not very common. Now, sadly, in Valorant, not every agent or player has the ability to pull the sun out of their pocket and throw it into your eyes, or throw down some smokes. But it is a team-based game, so you have to rely on your teammates for stuff like that. And remember, there's other guns in Valorant that a lot of people call overpowered also. Like the Judge, it has one-tap capabilities with an 8-round mag that can easily mow down an enemy team. Or you have the Sheriff that can one-tap head for $800 against an enemy with full armor. Hell, they could have an Operator themselves and still lose to you. Also, you have the Marshal, which is only a pretty cheap gun that's 150 more credits than the Sheriff, and it's got a scope on it that can one-tap head at any distance. Now, obviously, none of these guns will compare to the firepower of the Operator. It's like the most American gun you can think of. It's a big-ass gun, and they took one of the biggest bullets and just shoved it in there and threw it on a small battlefield. Now, just because this gun has insanely high firepower that can one-tap to the body, or the fact it has a double zoom scope ability, it doesn't make it a very insane gun that's crazy overpowered that can save your Valorant match if you're losing. And if it was, Valorant would be ridden with people that were always using the op. Now, it still is, but I'm saying there'd be a lot more. Before we get into chapter 2, consider liking and subscribing. It helps me make content like this, and if you're enjoying the content, it doesn't hurt to subscribe. You'll be informed when I make great videos like this, and join the Discord. You may be in one of my next videos. Anyways, let's get right into chapter 2. As we all know, the operator cost 4,700 credits in order to purchase, and the quickest way to get one is buying nothing in the first round where you start with 800 credits, getting an ace, then winning the round, where you'll have 4,800 credits where you can buy the op with no armor or any abilities. And the only way this would be a viable strat is if you are Reyna, where you can get full armor because you start off with one free orb. Now, if you're like a normal Valorant player, you'll be buying the operator on the 4th round, because the first 2 rounds, let's say you've won, that means the 3rd round the enemy team has Vandals while you have Marshals, Spectres, and lower end mid-tier guns. Then, if you win or lose the 4th round, doesn't matter which one happens, then you will be buying an operator with the rest of your teammates who have Vandals and Phantoms. Okay, well, congrats now. You're the proud owner of a operator. So, the only thing you have to do now is hold an angle and wait for someone to walk into your crosshair. Oh, but wait, nobody's going to your site and they're going to the other site. Damn, well that sucks, time to rotate. But remember, you move a whole 1.5 meters slower holding the operator out. Also, if you're aimed down sights, you move a whole 24% extra slower while scoped down. But okay, makes sense. It's a big gun, and it has one-tap capabilities, so it should be like that. But now you're about to verse your biggest enemy, smokes. You can't see through it, and you've got one shot. So if someone runs straight through and you miss, you're dead. Alright, but let's say the enemy team doesn't use smokes. Well, alright then, you can hold the angle as free as you'd like. But now there's another issue. They have a breach, and you just got flashed. Now you gotta peek off your angle, because the enemy team is gonna be peeking that angle you were just holding. But now there's another issue. The operator has a 1.4 second reload time. Yeah, so you can only kill an enemy every 1.4 seconds after the first shot. This means an ace would take you 5.5 seconds to complete with an operator, while the Vandal can do it in under 1 second, and the Phantom also. But every weapon has their drawbacks. If the operator shot as fast as a Vandal, then nobody would use a Vandal. But just because I've listed so many drawbacks for the operator, there's still a reason why this weapon is so feared. When I say the operator is a feared weapon, I mean that it's the individual player's skill with that weapon is feared. You don't just give an iron an op and just have the enemy team get steamrolled by that iron. It's the player who's holding it that makes it such a powerful weapon. Now, yes, the operator is a feared weapon because you're practically loading one of Thanos' fucking infinity stones into the chamber every time you shoot it, but still, it's mainly the player that makes it such a good weapon. And the operator isn't just simply sitting in the corner and looking down a long hallway or core area, allowing people to peek into your crosshair. You also have to learn how to aim, flick, when to peek, and know how to dodge abilities and util and play around where the enemies can't get their teammates' trade. On top of all of this, you have to make sure that the operator is safe if you were to somehow die, where your teammate can get it. Because if you lose the operator, it can either go into the enemy team's hands, where they now have that very powerful weapon, or you just lost 4,700 credits. And depending on your eco, that can be devastating. But once you get good at peeking with this very powerful weapon, because you are very slow, so people expect you to swing angles very tightly, so that's why a lot of operas get one-tapped by Vandals. But once you get really good at peeking and swinging, you can destroy enemy teams. And that's why the operator has its nickname, the Elo Cannon, because it can roll teams if it has a good user. And there's pros who made a name for themselves just by using the op. Like, look at Cned. He mainly uses the op, and he's big in tournaments because of that now. Well, if you enjoyed this video, consider liking and subscribing, and until next time guys, see ya.